Well, everyone, this is Grandmaster Jessie Bowen, the host of the Martial Arts Extraordinaire podcast. I'd like to welcome everyone. Today we have with us Dr. John Terry. He is the CEO of the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame, and it's such an honor to have him here with us. We've had him on a couple of programs, and we actually hang out pretty much every week.
Yes, we do. Every Tuesday night.
Every week, every Tuesday, we're actually, hanging out with other great martial artists through Professor Gary Lee's program. So, we're out there trying to give some input, give our opinion to make the world a better place. So that's what we really, try to do. We are the publishers. I'm with Elite Publications. And so we have our magazine that's out, the brand new magazine, which of course the magazine's name is the Martial Arts Extraordinaire Magazine. And we got our 50-year book coming up here in just a couple of weeks. Guess what the name of the book is? The name of the book is the Martial Arts Extraordinaire 50-Year Tribute Book. So that came about a couple of years ago when we launched the first 50-year book. And we decided that we wanted to continue to be able to tell that story. So, sir, it's such an honor to have you today. You've been doing such a great job for a very long time in the martial arts and continues the upkeep and the moving forward of the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame. And I have here, I just showed you just a few moments ago. So here is my certificate of induction, and this was in 2001, and this was the second year of this event. So I am so grateful to be inducted in this event. But, let's talk a little bit about you, your event. It was featured in the magazine as one of the top 4 martial arts events that we recommended if people were looking to go to events for recognition, for networking, to bring themselves up to another level. Then, of course, your event is in that top 4, along with Professor Gary Lee, Sifu Alan Goldberg, and of course the who's who in the martial arts. So for people that don't know you, take and tell us a little bit about you, and then we want to talk a little bit about the event, and then we'll go into what makes it one of the top 4 picks events in the country. So let's take and, tell our listeners a little bit about you.
Absolutely. Grandmaster Bowen, thank you for your support and for all the things that you're doing to help up-level the martial arts community. You're a very value-added commodity to what we have out of here, and I love the fact that you and I are really both focused on helping martial arts school owners and instructors up-level what they're doing so they can have a greater impact right there in their local community. Now, my story is probably very similar to what many martial artists have gone through. I was bullied in school. Age of 13, relocated from a big city to a small town. Dad's solution to me being bullied was to put me in martial arts. That was 51 years ago. Fast forward now, I've had the opportunity to train with a number of incredible people. I've earned black belts in karate, kempo, jiu-jitsu, jeet kune do, krav maga, and love what I do. Ran 3 successful schools for several years in the Russellville, Clarksville, and Ozark, Arkansas area. Our focus was really on kids. We ran about 200 kids each week through our program, really focused on not just teaching martial arts, but really instilling character, life skills, teaching leadership, and being more of a value add than just another martial arts school that taught kids to punch, to kick, to do self-defense, to compete in tournaments. We felt like our mission and our calling was to really be focused on developing the entire student and giving them an opportunity to step into the greatness of who they were and to prepare them from an early age to learn to lead themselves well, to make good choices, to learn to lead other people well. So when they graduated high school, went off to college, or went on into the workaday world, they already had that real life experience of not just leading themselves, but learning how to effectively lead, to work with a team, and to be able to inspire people to rise to their full potential. That was what really made our school very, very successful. Became involved with the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame in 2008. When I was inducted, I'd spent about 10 years traveling across the country, teaching predator awareness, rape and assault prevention. And as a result of that, that was my recognition into the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame. About that time, Professor Marty Cale, who founded the organization, lost his vice president who had served with him for several years that was going on into the counterterrorism and defensive tactics world. And the fact that we were in close proximity to each other, Professor Cale asked if I would be interested in joining the organization and serving as the vice president, really helping run the camp. So I've been actively involved with the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame since 2008, relocated from Russellville to Hot Springs, Arkansas, around 2014, 2015. And about that time, Professor Cale came to me and said, John, I've taken the organization as far as I can. It's time for a new face, someone that can take it farther. And at that point, essentially inherited the opportunity to lead this organization. And that's what I've been doing since 2015.
Well, I know you're doing a great job as opposed to seeing the growth and development of it and the value in which it serves. And for martial artists that are out there that are looking to understand the concept of building your brand, then you really want to look at things like the U.S., like the United States Hall of Fame, because this is a way that you can actually have the doors open for you. And the event is coming up this year, coming up in a couple of weeks. I think you said, possibly, it may be closed out. I guess they can, go to the website, check out any info in there. So tell us what's happening this upcoming week. You're about a week away?
We are just a little over a week away. We're going to be in San Antonio, Texas, one of our favorite destination locations. And about every 3 to 4 years, we make our way down to South Texas, and it's always an incredible event. So this will be the 26th annual United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame and the International Martial Arts Council of America's National Training Camp. IMAC USA, as we refer to it, is the sponsoring organization that sponsors the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame. IMAC USA is a non-style specific, open, independent martial arts association for school owners and instructors who are looking to have a place to call home, to learn how to expand their reach, their influence, and their impact. And so we kick off our event on Wednesday night, July the 16th, with a business development class. That's really designed for school owners and instructors that want to understand what they're doing they shouldn't be doing in their school that may be inhibiting their growth, as well as identifying things they could be doing that they're not yet doing or don't know they should be doing. So they have an opportunity to expand reach, expand influence, attract more students, stand out in the crowd so they don't look like every other martial arts school in the community, and really attract the type of student they want to get in the door so they're engaging more of those students on a regular basis. And then starting on Thursday, July the 17th, we're going to have a national training camp, 15 master level instructors, each instructor teaching a different martial arts discipline all day Thursday, all day Friday, and half day on Saturday. And you can actually show up, pay at the door, and participate in the national training camp. Thursday night, we'll have our camp tournament, open forms, traditional, open forms, creative, and of course, weapon forms, traditional, and weapon forms, creative. That will be 7 o'clock Thursday night. And then Friday night, we will convene the 26th Grandmasters Council. We have a group of individuals that haven't been able to be promoted because their instructor passed away. And so through our Grandmasters Council, 26 incredible individuals that represent a broad, diverse portfolio of experience and expertise in a variety of different martial arts styles and systems serve on that board. And these individuals are going to have an opportunity to test before some of the greatest martial artists that currently are living in the United States. And then Saturday night will be our Hall of Fame ceremony and banquet, where we're going to have an opportunity to recognize some amazing men and women, martial arts school organizations, as well as some military, law enforcement, and first responders to say thank you for your service, for giving back to your community, and making it a more impactful place because of what they're doing in the community. That's what we've got coming up, Grandmaster Bowen.
Wow, that's a lot. That's the reason why you should go to events like this, because you have to keep learning. If you think you're the smartest person in the world, then, think again. And you have to build that association. And that's the reason why your event, the Action Martial Arts event, of course, the History General event, and the Who's Who event of bringing, bringing people together. And of course, our event, speaking of the Who's Who, so the Who's Who in the martial arts is going to be coming up on August the 29th and 30th. And we're working on just about there to have a book event. Our focus is, legacy, writing, how to be able to, build your brand and get the word out who you are and be able to publish. So we're going to have an authors event of all genres, not focusing on martial arts. And it's called Take Center Stage. That's going to kick off on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the Saturday. And then the martial arts part of what we do, we're going to have seminars starting on Thursday, Friday, and also on Saturday. Then everybody goes to the awards banquet. So the authors and the martial arts is, they all come together. And actually, we got about 150 authors who's going to be participating in this event. We're still building to build on this, but let's just talk about that for a second, because the power of publishing and authors, if someone would look at you or they would look at me, and they was, we're beyond just the martial arts. We have learned how to take our words, our training, and put them into our books. And I know that you have several books out, and that's what we really want to encourage martial artists to do. Become a published author. That is a very powerful tool to add to your martial arts. And you never know exactly where that will take you, because not only you have a chance to teach and train in your schools, but now you have that opportunity to go to a corporate environment to add as an add-on to your program. Now, I know, sir, that you do a lot of corporate training, and I know you've got several books out. So share with us a little bit about your books and some of the things you're doing.
Well, Jesse, a book is really a business card on steroids. And if we think about the fact that if you've got students, and let's just talk just about the school for the moment, and then I'll get into the corporate side of it. But if you think about it as a school owner, if someone walks in your school and they say, why should I pick your school over any other school in this area? What can you add value in that none of the other schools do? And rather than hand them a business card or a brochure, you hand them a book that says, this is what we do in our school that makes it unique and different. And you tell that story. Do you think that mom or dad looking to enroll their kids are going to walk out and say, wow, somebody has taken the time to actually document what they do? That's a huge value add. Now, fast forward that to the corporate world. And as Grandmaster Bowen said, I've had the opportunity and I travel about 30 weeks out of the year speaking, coaching, and training in different organizations. Much of that has come from the 10 books that I've authored. My book, Black Belt Leadership 101, was an LA Tribune bestseller. And being able to walk in and hand someone a book to say, this is on the LA Tribune's bestseller list, and I can name off some of the other names of famous people that are a part of that organization, that speaks to the credibility of what I've done. And as a result of that, it opens a lot of doors for me to have the opportunity to speak about leadership, about sales and marketing, about communication, human behavior, and the other things that I have the privilege and opportunity to talk on. What you can do if you're running a podcast, that podcast can be transcribed. That can be turned into a book, because if you're doing a podcast as a martial arts school owner or instructor, that's content that can be repurposed. That's another way that you can get your message out to the marketplace. But the power of a book cannot be undersold. I was recently at an event in Atlanta, my very first time visiting this event, because I'm going to be one of the speakers coming up next week in Plano at this conference. I met the guy that ran the event, first time we'd met. And when I walked up and I said, hey, I want to thank you for the invitation to be at your event, and I have something for you. And I handed him a copy of my book. He looked at me and he said, wow. He said, is this your first book? I said, no, this is number 6 of the 10 books that I've authored. That immediately caused him to lean in and says, tell me more. had an opportunity to say, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is why I'm known as the black belt leader in the marketplace. Now, not only am I speaking once on his stage, I'm speaking twice on his stage, and potentially a third time later in the week as a result of that book getting a greater introduction and an opportunity then to have lunch with him and talk about the value adds that I could bring to help serve his organization. That has happened over and over and over again because of the simple power of a book.
And you're correct. That's something that we're trying to Elite Publications. We've been spent the past 10 years just producing my own stuff, and we started about 4 years ago producing for other people. So now we're an international publishing company helping people around the world to be able to write, to publish, and to be able to market their books. We've got over 1,000 martial artists that we've actually helped them to become international bestsellers through our book, through our Who's Who in the Martial Arts, and now, which is our legacy book, of being published. And let's just, talk about just value. Let's just say, for an example, you're featured, you have your own book, or you are featured in our Who's Who book. And you let your students know that you're featured, and you're going to have a book signing. And if you're charging $100 a month, for your martial arts, and if you're on a 12-month program, then so each student that comes in has a value of about $1,200 during that year. So during your book signing, because you want to give these books, just like you did, sir, you gave that book to someone, and then it automatically increased your value. So now I give the students my student that refers someone a copy of the book. I give his friend a signed copy of the book. Then they go to a pizza party with Sensei, and now I've got 10 people that decides to come. So that's about $12,000 of revenue came in because my book was the influence. You're doing shopping. I've got a book. That means I'm knowledgeable. So that gives me my credibility factor. So becoming a published author is a powerful tool. And it works the same way, when you get a chance to be, featured have your own magazine cover. It's another very powerful tool. My experience, I started working for Duke in 1988 at Duke University, but I had my own training manual, and I had already done some work before that they had a chance to know me and see the work I was doing as a martial artist. So they called me up and asked me, we would like for you to start our martial arts program at Duke University. And I had 3 schools in Durham, North Carolina. And I remember saying, I'm a negotiator, and I go, well, let me think about it. And my boss, whose name was Al Bueller, he says to me, okay, he says, we are Duke University. I said, okay, I'll take the job. I never filled out a job application. I was the only person on the ticket. So I was there for 28 years at Duke. But the runoff from that was it opened the door for me to coach internationally, through Duke's business program, which is called Duke CE and Duke Corporate Education. So I've worked with companies like Nike, Raytheon. I did a training last year for American Express that had 50 executives in, and all 50 of them got a book. So they got a book. So it was really about bringing value. They bought books. The books had great topics written by, I think it was 30 martial artists that wrote in the book. But that was a very powerful tool. So that's what we're really about, for our listeners. Now you have one of the top martial arts Hall of Fames. Again, being involved is about your growth. Who knows you? Who identifies and recognizes you, for your growth and your contributions in the martial arts? This is a very valuable service. And I know for myself, again, in numerous events, but that opened the door for me to write for Professor Gary Lee. Published a book for his organization. We published a book for 6 books for Sifu Allen Goldberg. We published a book for the Canadian Karate Association. Being able to archive the people that are part of their program, so they're not just an inductee. There's a place that they can go back and do that. So any comments on that? So what do you feel that your organization brings to your attendees? What do you think that impact is, or what is that thing that their takeaway?
To me, the takeaway is you can be more than just a martial artist. And that's really what we focus on, is helping the school owners and instructors understand and look at what are the needs in your community that are being unserved that you can serve. There was a study recently done that they found that individuals in any community across the United States are much more likely to engage with a business that is connected in some way to a cause in that community. Because when people see that the organization is going above and beyond just making a dollar and going back and serving the community and doing well in the process, they want to be a part of that. And one of the things that we talk to school owners about is becoming cause-focused or mission-driven in what you do. And that's one of the things we'll talk about at our business summit that we'll have on Wednesday night, is how to become cause-focused or mission-directed so that you can actually find a cause in your community that needs someone to champion it, and you, your school, and your students embrace that, serve in that area, give back to the community. And what does it do? It elevates your visibility. And now you're not just another taekwondo or karate or kempo or jiu-jitsu school. You're serving your community, making an impact and changing lives for the better. And oh, by the way, you also teach martial arts. Now, what's going to happen with that is many people that don't even know that you as a school owner exist are all of a sudden going to know who you are because of your connection to that nonprofit organization. And I promise you, that's going to open up the doors for more people being curious about, well, why do you do this? And why is your school involved? And by the way, tell me what you do in your school. Well, that's an opportunity to tell your story and sell them on why they should be in the martial arts, or their kids should be in the martial arts, or their whole family should be in the martial arts. And lo and behold, you're going to begin to attract students into your school that up till that point in time didn't know who you were, what you did. And if they were looking for a martial arts school, they probably wouldn't even seek you out. So that's one value add that we bring. But also the main focus of our association is helping school owners understand you're not just a martial arts instructor, you're an entrepreneur that owns a business that teaches martial arts. How do we do that more efficiently? How do we do that more effectively? How do we do that more productively so that you can attract more of the type of students you want to get in the door to your school? And again, increase your numbers, but also do so with quality instruction, and then have the opportunity from that to bring value adds, such as our Black Belt Parenting Program that we recently rolled out. We partner with an organization that's been working with troubled youth that have been part of the court systems. And we have an incredible program called Safe Dojo, where we can actually bring a program into your school to work with these kids that have been troubled, that have been sexually abused, sexually assaulted, physically assaulted. And as a result of that, you know, maybe they were taken from the home and they're now in foster care. We've got programs that you can use and learn how to implement in your school to find a cause that will help you stand out, get noticed, and serve a clientele that you maybe never had thought about serving. We've got another individual this year coming in, bringing what he calls SNAP, Special Needs Adaptive Program. He's been doing it up in New Jersey, New York, and all through the Northeast for the last 10 years, working with autism, working with Asperger's, working with cerebral palsy, working with multiple sclerosis, kids and adults that have these disabling issues in their lives. And how do we adapt the martial arts to serve their needs and let them see and experience value, but also enjoy the martial arts adapted to what they can do? Those are just a few of the things that we bring to school owners and instructors all throughout the year through the International Martial Arts Council of America and the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame.
Wow. Everyone, again, we have Dr. John Terry with us today. And if you have not had an opportunity to go to their website, check it out. If you don't make it this year, put it on your calendar to go to the event, be a part of it, because this is the way you get educated, learn new things, have these opportunities, bringing these opportunities back to your martial arts, program. And one of the key things when someone's looking for a school, definitely want to find someone that's continued to educate themselves. They're going to training seminars. They're reading. They're doing something to constantly upgrade their lives, so you can know that they're on top of what your children are going through, what you may be going through, what you're looking for, and they have different certifications and different things. These are very powerful tools. And so if you're a martial arts school and you want to learn more about how to empower yourself, you can reach out to the American Martial Arts Alliance Foundation. And we are a nonprofit organization, but we provide services to help martial arts schools grow and to be able to develop themselves and reach the financial goals that they have. You run a business, then you definitely should have financial goals. That's what a business, if you're not going to do that, then you don't really need a business. You can, have a club, which is really great. Don't have to deal with all the other stuff. But if you want to really run a business, then why not be the best at what you do and get the best information, the best support to be able to move to that. Any last comments or anything that you'd like to let us know?
I would just add to what you just shared, Professor Bowen. If you think about Ray Kroc, who was the brilliance behind the McDonald's franchise going global, one of my favorite quotes from that man is this: as long as you're green, you're growing. But once you're ripe, you start to rot. Now, if you look around the world today, we've got way too many rotten instructors that have stopped learning, growing. And once they got to 4th, 5th, or 6th degree black belt, they quit training. And at some point, they're going to hit the lid of how far they can take their students. And at some point, those students are going to surpass them. So if you want to continue to have more reach, more influence, and more impact, you've got to invest and grow yourself every single day, because we want green instructors that are growing to continue to take martial arts to the next level.
Well, I agree with that 100%, sir. And everyone, there's a great article in here about the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame. It's a great article in here. So you can get your easy button for the magazine is to go to Amazon. You can go to Amazon. You can purchase the magazine. You can purchase the Kindle of the magazine. You can actually go to our website, which is who'swhointhemartialarts.com. Go to our store, get a copy, but get a copy. If magazines are a powerful way for you to keep up with what's going on. In this particular magazine, it's not just all about the greatest karate people in the world. It's about good martial artists and how they are bringing the world a better place and how they're growing themselves. And again, then here's a special section in here about the top 4 martial arts extraordinary events, their choice of that. Everyone, remember, everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. This is brought to you by Elite Publications. You can go to our website, which is www.elitepublications.org. If you want to write, publish, market your book, then let us know. We want to help you to be the best you that you can be. Again, this is Jessie Bowen. Be blessed.